Welcome to Relocating to Disney. Well, we are at another one of our favorite stops today. We are at Wild, Florida. Let's check out the zoo. Wild, Florida is about 40 minutes southeast of Disney World. Hey, let's watch the Gator show.
Crocodiles, they don't just eat meat, they eat all prey, all animals. So the bone, the connective tissue, the organ, all that is important to their diet because they don't eat the vegetables, they eat the animals that do. And right after that, we have a crocodile versus an alligator, and a little alligator off the tip of the snout. You knock it off, and don't feel bad if they knock it off. You might see him skin the bottom there, and it honestly will get them more enticed as the show goes on. I know it's called a feeding show, but this is not the main feeding. A lot of people wonder, how do you know if they all get fed? Do they all get a piece of the show? Believe it or not, you guys, the guests, feed this pond most of their diet. Since the walk-through park is open 6 days a week, 10 hours a day, all the pelleter diet, the conch shell like this, you guys get it from the gazebo, you come down the bridge, and you throw them the food in the water, just like that. Here at the park, they enjoy that. You guys toss them food, they float there fat and happy. So the feeding show is just a great way to give them the option or the choice to exercise. Just like people, we don't all go to the gym, they don't all go to the gym. But we want to offer them, a slam dunk right there from Louie, the American alligator. We want to give them the option, again, utilize their muscles, get some exercise, and the hopes of extra food. And again, that's really what that is in the line. It's extra food. The pond itself is naturally stocked. Catfish, tilapia, garfish. Every now and then, the alligators and crocodiles may catch one of the birds, but it's not that often because the birds are just as fast with their terms of pattern recognition, speed. And let's face it, the birds you see flying around like the grecos, the peacocks, the roosters, those are the real modern-day dinosaurs. Alligators and crocodiles are not modern-day dinosaurs. I hear that a lot. These are distant ancestors of the Archosaurus, so the Dinosuchus, Carposuchus, Prostosuchus. Those individuals were existing at the time of the Brontosaurus, the T-Rex, they would eat them. So, again, these are not dinosaurs, they're not modern-day dinosaurs. They are full-blooded reptiles, again, these are relatives of the Archosaurus. Now, when we come in here, if you came from the Crusher show, with Andrew and Cody, this may look pretty similar, and that's because this is where Crusher's training began, down here on the embankment, up by the glass. And when we come in here, it's not to look crazy or be dangerous, it's just to try and showcase their true sense of pattern recognition and intelligence. And with the training, as you saw earlier, it benefits us with their husbandry, especially in this setting, whether it's maintenance on the pond or the feeding itself. By coming in every day, they become more conditioned. But now they're all more dangerous than a wild one would ever be, because you see how they act. They expect food from me. So anything that hits the water in this setting is food. And if I slip and I fall, they're not going to be nice about it. So coming in here is more about trying to have an understanding of their body language and reading patterns, the way their eyes are moving, and again, to benefit them. And of course, the feeding is easier at Clyde. Give that crocodile a hand. They love hands. Trust me, I'm that one. Tough crowd, tough crowd. I know it's, you don't have to clap now. It's okay. We already had the awkward silence. But anyway, it sounds kind of weird. You're like, clapping for gators and crocodiles? What a Florida thing to do. But it helps in terms of their pattern recognition. In the wild, they don't eat every day. They don't even eat every week. Remember, they have to catch their food. So they have to pick up on the patterns of their prey. What times of day the possums come down to drink. What times of year the birds are nesting. So every day, at the beginning of the 11:30 and the 3 o'clock, when you guys make that big noise, the clapping and the cheering, they pick up on that pattern. That sound means that extra food is available. So it does help. But I know it sounds kind of silly, so don't feel silly. You're not clapping. I just like picking on you guys. And they're not working together out there. That's one thing I like to address. And they're not using their feet either. There's Clyde again. So this is a naturally sloped pond, shallow in the front, very deep after the end of this wooded ramp. It's like a drop off like a cliff or a boat ramp. So how they're jumping onto the line, Jeremiah with another great jump. They're utilizing their tail. The head tilts up, the tail tilts down in the water column, and they move that tail in a serpentine S-like motion. That is the propulsion that is set in the birds, mammals, raccoons, and possums. And depending on the crocodile in their habitat, they'll jump for much larger prey items. Great example, if you're on safari, the drive-thru later, we have a group of subadult Cuban crocodiles, sadly critically endangered, but the Cuban crocodiles are known for their ability to jump. Their front arms are a little bit longer than their back legs. They jump out of a mangrove swamp or a small wood mammal into the booty. And that was little queso. We do have crocodiles and alligators. And a common question again is how you tell them apart. Great side-by-side comparison. Queso's climbing on the head of the gator. And you can see the alligators, they're a little bit better at the jump behavior with their size. The little queso is not as large, but it makes you a little bit quicker. Now that is the Borderlands crocodile. Right behind her, about to touch her tail, that is the Siamese crocodile. Up on the deck, we have Bonnie, that is our female West African crocodile. And right at the edge of the water, that's her boyfriend, Clyde. Bonnie and Clyde, Clyde and Bonnie. Now, all the crocodiles you see here on that side of the bridge, we have an adult pair of Orinoco crocodiles. The female is from Dallas Fort Aquarium in Texas. The male is from Zoo Miami. Once those crocodiles breed, their babies are being sent on a plane to the Venezuelan government for release and repatriation in a range of the wild. Again, the Orinoco crocodile found in the Orinoco Basin down in Venezuela. There's a little fish on there, look back. Now, Gecko is a feisty little female. I only know she's a female because she's laid eggs before. Visually, side by side, it is really hard to tell a male from a female. The only way to know for sure is a process known as probing. Leave it at that, yeah. Oh, there's a grackle. Yeah, that's a dinosaur right there, sadly. Or a modern day dinosaur. You look at the ostriches, the eagle, and the castor, it's all in the feet. Very, very visual distinctions there. And we are really on fire day. I know a lot of you are hot and you're sweating, but it makes for a great feeding demonstration because these are cold-blooded reptiles. That does not make them aggressive. That just means they can't regulate their own internal body temperature. They're relying on the heat from the sun, the temperature of the water. That is how they thermoregulate. So when it's hot out, they have more energy. Versus when it's cold out, you guys in your jackets, you think it feels awesome. They hate it. They don't eat for weeks at a time in this setting. Naturally, the American alligators found always in there. But one thing to remember, from all of my talking, we say it almost every show, never feed wild gators, wild crocodiles. Myself, being born and raised in Florida, I know how many people do it. Whether you're a tourist that's visiting, or local Jim Bob's got a gator in the lake behind his house, the American alligators are federally protected species within the United States of America because you feed an alligator one time by your house, a park, for like a TikTok, or you're afraid, no big deal, I live in Florida, whatever. And then the new person moves in, the alligator comes up like this, they call the state of Florida saying an alligator is chasing them. And then the trapper's sent out, they remove these wild alligators, deemed a nuisance, and more often than not, they're euthanized. And every year in Florida alone, there's an average of 8,000 alligators removed from the wild because of people feeding them. So, just never feed wild gators, crocodiles. If you really want to feed one, just come right here. And there it is, my friends. Give them a big round of applause. That is the end of the show. You guys are awesome. They were amazing.
Well, that was the Gator Show. Man, that was fun. That was a lot of fun.